Welcome to Artist on Spotlight on SANTV, where we celebrate the voices shaping our cultural landscape through creativity and passion. In this episode, we meet Subhranil Bhadra, a community artist, composer, and cultural organizer whose musical journey spans from the vibrant streets of Kolkata to the heart of Edinburgh. From founding Edinburgh's first Bengali band to directing festivals that spotlight Indian classical music, Subhranil uses his art not just to perform but to build bridges. Join us as we explore how music becomes a language of identity, inclusion, and belonging. Welcome to the show, Subhranil.
Thanks, Ranjit, for having me here.
Subhranil, let's begin with your journey. What brought you to Edinburgh, and how did your artistic path evolve here in Scotland?
So, I came here to work as a software consultant. My client was based out of Edinburgh. So initially, I came here for 4 months, but now I'm living in Edinburgh for 15 years right now. At one point, because I'm from Calcutta, you might be knowing that Durga Puja is basically the biggest festival, and it's probably the only one heritage festival considered by heritage festival by UNESCO, I think. So we started Durga Puja here, some of our friends, community members, and then again I started playing guitar in shows, forming a band. Because before that, first 4 or 5 years, just playing guitar and being a bathroom singer. And when everyone is drunk in a party, they used to clap listening to my music. So that was my artist life, to be honest, at Edinburgh. But it flourished because we started Durga Puja, which is not really a religious thing. When we grew up in Calcutta, it's a socio-religious thing.
Yes.
And it brings people together, and that's what it's doing in Edinburgh as well, and every year it does. And from that, people observed me, some people approached me to play for them. There was already a band called Swaryatra. There's a Bollywood band, and then I joined them, started playing guitar. I met I won't say soulmate because my wife will be looking at this interview as well, with Rick, my friend, my partner, during this Durga Puja festivals only. He is a musician as well. So we formed a band called the Bong Pipers here as well. And then one thing followed another. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, going a step backward again, before you came to Scotland, tell us about your family back in India, your upbringing, your gurus in music. Can you walk us through that journey?
So, if I go back to my childhood, I would say that my initial memory of music is annoyance. Because my mother is a trained Rabindra Sangeet and semi-classical singer.
And it is a particular genre, right?
Rabindra Sangeet, Tagore songs.
Yes, Tagore songs
by Tagore.
Yes.
And she used to practice in the morning.
Okay.
Early in the morning. So basically, I used to woke up. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that playing harmonium and practicing at all. But that's the first thing. So in a way, although I didn't want, probably I have to call my ma as my first guru of listening to that music and all. And in my, as well as with most Bengali families probably, there was always music going on. And a lot of my relatives, whether aunts, my cousins, they sing very well. And then I learned guitar probably when I started going to college.
Okay.
Because obviously I was interested in learning some musical instrument when I started engineering, because I found out that that's probably the easiest way to get a girl's number. So Ashish Dash was my first guitar teacher.
Okay.
And then I learned guitar from and jazz music from Amit Datta in Calcutta. Here I have in Edinburgh. I have taken jazz lessons from Jed Brocky in
Okay.
Edinburgh, and also I have learned vocal music from Edinburgh School of Music as well.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
do vocals,
I did learn a bit, but mostly it's backing vocals,
backing vocals.
harmonizing things. Yes, mostly I try to play a guitar.
So you've been a part of several bands, right? From your college days, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Both in India and in the UK as well.
Yeah,
You had done concerts. How did your musical upbringing influence your transition into community-based creative projects? Because I remember first seeing you on one of these Rabindra Sangeet,
Yeah.
that you were the music director for that.
Yeah,
It was very interesting for me to see that.
Yeah.
How did your
So, you see, when I was in college, that was the era when the Bengali rock music was coming up, and people in India, that because India has a very rich tapestry of music, very rich heritage, and the Indian classical music, as we see, is very different from rock.
Yeah.
At least if you do not go into the depth of it, that's what it sounds like. So it was that era when in Calcutta people are trying to write new kind of music which won't be semi-classical, which won't be based on ragas and all. That is the time when we started learning guitar. It was probably right at that time when a Bengali band called Fossils was coming up. Before that, there was Mohinar Ghoragul and some bands as well. It was just late 90s and beginning of 2000s and all. And I don't know if I've observed that a lot of time if famous singers are singing, but the musicians are called hands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because we are forming bands,
Yeah.
and everyone had equal respect.
Yeah.
If you think of it, this is the same thing which a community, if everyone is forming a commune, that will be the same idea behind a community as well, right? The mutual respect. That's where we stand different from musical performance by a vocalist and their quote-unquote hands.
Yeah.
That's a band we are forming. We formed bands. We were covering Hindi songs, Bengali songs, English numbers, and trying to write new musical compositions. We're trying to experiment different things. In Calcutta, I obviously used to do when studying in college. We did college festival and something. When it came to Edinburgh, there was no Bengali community. So some of us, we started, as I was mentioning, we started Durga Puja. Then we thought that okay, there is no, at least there was no Indian Bengali community. So let's form it. Let's form a charity, and we formed something called Shabash, Scottish Association of Bengali Arts and Sanskritic Heritage.
Okay.
And you can see that the whole sense of community doing things together with mutual respect, they are all tied together. And that's how I see my music.
Yeah.
When we do music, it's a band. People are coming together, people are contributing. When I met you, the dance drama Palash,
Yes.
which we performed in Tagore Gades Festival and during that Tagore bust
Unveiling.
inauguration unveiling
Yes.
event in Edinburgh, we'll see that we were actually changing positions as well.
Yes.
And my favorite band is Beatles, right? And
Yeah.
I have heard that anyone in Beatles could play any of those instruments. And in one of the songs, my mate Rick, he went from tabla to keyboard.
Yes.
Gora was playing keyboard. He suddenly went to bass guitar, and
It's a bit of a musical chair.
music. Yeah, musical
a
chair,
musical
exactly.
chair was-
And I came from guitar to play shakers, and no instrument is small actually, because
Yeah.
we're all enjoying, because we all wanted to get involved and contribute
Yeah.
and make it special. And in some of the songs, only two instruments were getting used, and that is it. And some people were just sitting idle,
Yeah.
but that doesn't matter because we are all on stage. We are there performing
Yeah.
as a band,
Yeah.
and there we are a musical community. We are a musical commune. That is the idea we have as well. We had in the Bong Pipers. When I performed in Swaryatra, there are a lot of other people apart from them, and we had the same idea. We are doing something called the Fungus Collective now as well.
Okay.
It's a collective of different people playing together. But
Brilliant.
and in Shabash, which is a Bengali community, I'm founder trustee for UKBC, United Kingdom Bengali Convention, which is UK wide.
Yeah.
Same thing follows.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that brings to the Bong Pipers, which you just mentioned. You founded the Bong Pipers and were a member of Swaryatra
Yeah,
and Edinburgh's first Bengali and Bollywood bands.
yeah.
What was the inspiration behind forming these groups? You did mention about there wasn't anything at that time,
Yeah.
but is that something that you found that it is need in this Scottish landscape
Yeah.
because of the richness, or is that something that inspired you?
So, firstly, Swaryatra was already there.
Already there, and you were a part of that,
part
member
of
of
it,
that,
and there
yes,
were
yes.
members like Harman Rodriguez was playing guitar in that.
Yes, he's also a
Dhananjay Madhav.
photographer as well.
He's
right?
also a
Harman.
photographer.
Yes, yes.
So they were already there,
Yeah.
and they saw me playing in one of the Durga Puja events, basically. And I didn't know anyone, and they said, "Okay, do you want to come and play with us?" And went there. It was a nice environment. Played with them. So the Bong Pipers and what we do in Shabash. So the Bong Pipers was fun because I want to write, I want to compose as well. And what I figured out, if I don't write for myself, no one will tell me to sing. That's it. So that was the selfish idea about the Bong Pipers. But with all these Bong Pipers and singing Bengali with other people, Bengali and Hindi numbers, how we have grown up and forming Shabash. And in Durga Puja, we do a lot of cultural events. I was mentioning in this interview, I think Durga Puja will come back again and again.
Of course.
Because
as an integral part of Bengali community,
it is. And as I was mentioning, this is socio-religious.
Yes.
And not only the puja happens, probably in Calcutta, you will see that every evening there are cultural events for 2 to 3 hours. We try to replicate that here as well. Now, what I figured out, later point, so we tried because I wanted to create that environment here. And now, as my daughter she is turning 8 this December, that's another inspiration, more inspirational for me, because I think we need to create an ecosystem.
Yes.
And that ecosystem, obviously, I'm not expecting people to study the Indian regional languages here, like whether Hindi or Bengali or Malayalam, Tamil.
Yeah.
But at least in their childhood, if they listen to them, if they're culturally connected, then that will come back.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in childhood, somewhere in your memory, it stays.
Yeah.
I was mentioning to you before this, right? I got hit by a cricket ball a few days back.
Yes.
Okay. The first thing what came to my memory, that in my childhood when I fell on a floor, that came back to me. And suddenly that was probably 40 years back. And that came back to me. But whenever we hear some music, probably I remember that, in early morning, my mother used to sing that. And that stays with you. If you're creating that ecosystem, if we're making our children dance with Bengali music, if they're listening to that, because we always say music has no language.
Yes.
But what we are protecting here is also what our culture is.
Yes.
And we do not intend to create a ghetto. we want to assimilate.
Mm.
Then assimilation will only happen when our children will learn the Western music and they will get the taste of Eastern music as well.
Yeah.
Take an example of Allah Rakha Rahman, right?
Okay. Yes.
He who is the best example
Yeah.
of how you can have a blend of both
Of course.
and how you can understand that. But you can,
I see another South Indian singer as well, Sid Sriram.
right,
Is one of the South Indian singer who is getting very popular as well. He was actually found by A.R. Rahman. And he's a second generation American.
nice.
But his mom is a trained classical singer and he learned Carnatic music from there. But he does some Carnatic performance, but some Western, and he kind of created a system. I mean, right now, if you go to South, you know, if you be to Andhra, Karnataka,
Yeah.
Telangana, even in Kerala, recently one of his songs is so popular in Kerala. He's not even a Malayali.
See,
The language,
yeah.
the music, and it's very hard for you to say that he's coming from a second generation in who
Of course.
grew up in America. So the point what you mentioned there was it's an exposure for kids,
Yes. Yes.
the next generation, to the music, which actually opens up
It's
later
like
on
giving
in
a
their
taste
years.
of new food,
Yes.
or introducing to them to say chess
Yes.
or cricket, and then the kids always will take their own paths as we did
We
as
all
well.
did, yes.
We all did.
Yes.
But it's about introducing and creation of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What does it mean to you to create a original Bengali compositions while living in Scotland? Because you mentioned about composing.
Yeah.
What it means to you? Because one thing which you mentioned, I kept that in mind. Like, unless you create a song, you compose a song, nobody will ask you to sing.
Of course, selfish reason.
Selfish
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
But there should be something else, you know, to create that Bengali.
Yeah.
What?
No, so, as I said, that we tried to form bands, we tried to write. So I always used to write something. And see, I studied in a Bengali medium school.
Okay.
So I'm obviously speaking to you in
Speaking,
English.
yes, of
And
course.
my work life has taught me that as well.
Yeah.
But I was always more comfortable in writing something and composing something in Bengali.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's why. I mean, I always used to write it, but then when I met Rick and we were doing music together, I said, I feel like I'm going back to my college days, so we can do this again. So I
Okay.
can write it again. That's why I wrote it. It's just I don't know, just creative juice flowing.
Exactly.
That's all.
How difficult is that? I mean, because you are not a professional composer or writer or even a musician, because your profession is
Yeah, profession is
something
something
else.
else, yeah.
And this is purely out of passion.
Yeah.
Now, when it is something purely out of passion, it is okay to perform. But the creativeness coming into that is quite difficult, because every day, you mentioned about your family, your profession.
Yeah.
It takes a different path. And
Yeah.
then bringing yourself back to that creative thing with that mind zone, it is a difficult
It's very
task.
difficult. That's why it doesn't happen very regularly, of
Okay.
course.
It's a sporadic
But,
thing.
Yeah, it's obviously a sporadic thing. At the same time, when you learn music is a very mathematical thing.
Oh, of course, yes.
So, when I'm writing something, I'm creating a new music, I need to think, okay, what is the hook in this song? How do I come back here? And obviously, when I learned music, we always had that kind of classes that, okay, you start it with this verse 1, or in Indian music, say Mukhra, Antaran, Sanchari. So how do I breach that? How do I come back to the hook? So that's a kind of lesson I always had.
Yep.
And just try to implement that using that logical reasoning, how you
Okay.
can do that, And
Excellent, excellent.
not talking about talent very, very honestly, but yeah, just need to be clever.
Uh, You performed at major events like hosted by Consulate General of India
Yeah.
and festivals like UKBC and Tagore Geddes Festival. Which performance has been the most memorable for you and why?
This one is a bit difficult to say, because because when I started, during those Durga Puja days and in Edinburgh, and
Yeah.
that will always be special because you're starting, or we just went up to stage and in Edinburgh, Calton Hill, the Sera celebration, we just got slot for 5 minutes, and so we just did for one Bengali and one Hindi number. The Hindi number is inspired by a Bengali song. We did that, but I think I'll mention there's also another one show called what Draupadi said to Penelope in French festival 3 years back. That was very special to me. But I will keep Tagore Geddes as the most special one because it's huge. The project is huge. It's a development over few months, and there are 9 musicians we use, musicians and singers. I think you have seen a smaller group. You have what you haven't seen is there was Eva, who is I think she's Polish by birth, but she plays sitar and
Wow.
she plays violin, and she was here as well. And she didn't know the Tagore songs,
Okay.
and we all contributed together. And there was, you have seen Gaurav, Harman,
Yeah.
Rick, and me, and musicians, and the singers like I should name Rhea, Akasdeep, another Gaurav. But all these things coming together, and I call myself, because of this French festival and this, I call myself music service provider because it's not completely independent as it looks like.
Yeah.
Because the script writer,
Yeah.
the dancers, they will come and say, no, we don't want this kind of music. The rhythm needs to change a bit. And there were Robert Burns songs which had
Yes.
inspired Rabindranath Tagore as well. And we
Okay.
tried to put them together. We tried to keep the sense of Scottish music, where keeping the Tagore melodies intact.
Yeah.
But and a few things we did very differently. So, for example, when I was a kid, say before colleges and all, how the Tagore songs, I don't know if you know, but the Vishwabharati had a copyright on the Tagore songs. And
Okay.
I think it was supposed to be for 50 years after Tagore's death, but I think they extended it by another 10 years as well. So
Okay.
until 2001, I think, you had, before publishing any Tagore song, you had to take permission from Vishwabharati. So I don't see a lot of experimentation happening during that time. But here, some experimentation happened afterwards. So we did a lot of experimentation with different kind of music, like bass guitar, with introducing shakers and something, sitar, violin, and bringing all of them together. So that is something very special to me. And of course, it ended up with that unveiling of Tagore Bust.
Tagore Bust,
So,
yes. Well, we come to the performance part of it now.
okay.
Would you be able to play a piece for us? Just a minute.
Okay.
You have your lovely guitar here, and then why not doing one shot?
I'll do a cover of an old song. As a
Okay.
Bengali names?
Yeah,
Bengali allowed?
yeah, absolutely fine.
শহরের উষ্ণতম দিনে বীজ কলা এক রোদ্দুরে বৃষ্টির বিশ্বাস তোমায় দিলাম আজ। ফর্সা মেয়েদের শাড়ি, ফুটপাত ঘেঁষা বেলুন গাড়ি, সুতো বাঁধা যত নীল আর সাদা, ওরাই আমার থতমত শহরের রডোডেনড্রন। তোমায় দিলাম আজ। Excellent. It was a number by very one. I think
Before
one of
you
the
put
first.
the peg away, can
Okay.
I ask you to sing a Hindi song as well?
Hindi song?
While
Okay. Right. That was Mohiner Ghoraguli song. It was
Okay.
one of the first Bengali bands.
Okay.
डूबा डूबा रहता हूँ आंखों में तेरी, दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरी। डूबा डूबा रहता हूँ आंखों में तेरी, दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरी। अब दिन होते नहीं, रातें कटती नहीं, तेरे तस्वीर से बातें बनती नहीं। तो आजा न जा बेवफा, बेवफा सुन, बेवफा बेवफा न जाना।
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
great,
you.
Great stuff. Thank you. Well, that brings to the end of this episode. And thank you very much, Subhranil, for that insight into how music has transformed you as a person and how that transitioned into the community, and in a very good way to bring that to Scotland as well. In the next episode, we will delve into more stories, and also we will have few more performances from Subhranil. Until then, goodbye. Ranjit Shankar Narayan signing off this episode.